Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book Dragons of Autumn Twilight by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman. This is the first book in the Dragonlance series, which is part of the Dungeons & Dragons universe. Now, I have read several of the Forgotten Realms novels. I read the first six Drizzt novels by R.A. Salvatore, which I thought some of them were mediocre, but a few of them, like the first book, Homeland, and The Crystal Shard, I thought those were entertaining and just brilliantly written. So I really enjoyed those. And I love the genre of fantasy, and I love the genre of media tie-in fiction. So when you can combine those two genres with Dragonlance and with the Dungeons & Dragons universe, I'm going to really appreciate it. And so this book, Dragons of Autumn Twilight, starts off the Dragonlance universe in the land of Abyssinia with a group of 8 characters. I guess you could say they're either led by Tanis or they're led by Goldmoon, depending on how you look at it. But a group of 8 companions who go on an adventure. Describing what that adventure is really hard because they change the objective of the story so many times. First, they're going to this place up north. Nope, we're going south. Nope, we're going north again. Nope, we're going west this time. It's pick a direction. At least with the Tolkien books, it's very easy to track where the hair characters are heading and when they reach an obstacle, why they have to go around something. Whereas in this book, characters would be going one direction, they just go back the other way, like opposite. And it just, the logic of the book was very frustrating from that perspective. And then the other problem I had was it felt throughout fairly bland. Which is hard for me to say because I like a lot of bland books and a lot of bland writing styles, but nothing about the book captured me. There were certain moments that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed reading about the kind of relationship between Tika, the girl, and one of the male characters that I won't spoil for spoilers' sake, and I also liked some of the stuff between Goldmoon and Riverrun, and I liked some of the humor between Flint and Tasselhoff. And so I liked some elements of it, but when I was just reading the book, the process of reading felt like a chore. The process of getting through the storyline felt meh. I don't really care about what I'm reading. And that is a terrible feeling to have when you book. I'd rather hate a book or love a book, but feeling meh throughout the story is very difficult. There are some interesting dragons in here, but I don't think they're particularly stand out compared to other fantasy universes. There's more dragons than most other fantasy writers write, but they don't stand out in the way that other fantasy writers write dragons. I did like how Flint he had a very distinctive character trait of being afraid of water, but that didn't come up that much. And I liked how he would talk back and forth with Tasselhoff, the kind of troublemaking halfling type thing. The Kender, that's the word, Kender. And I liked when Tasselhoff would play off of other characters, but it just wasn't enough to carry the story. And so the changing of the direction and the objectives in the book was very frustrating. It wasn't very clear. In Lord of the Rings, we have to get rid of the One Ring. In the Forgotten Realms, in the first 3 Drizzt books, Drizzt is trying to escape society. He's this underground society and go live among the humans. And then in other fantasy series like The Wheel of Time, they're preparing for this epic battle with good and evil. And with the Stormlight Archives, same thing. And so you have these, and then each of the Shannara books, within the book there is a very specific objective, and then there's an overall objective with the book. So Shannara and those Shannara books that don't work are the ones that feel aimless, and they feel like you're retreading things, and they're the ones where you're just jumping around and not really sticking in one place. And that's what this felt like. And I get what they were trying to do. It just didn't work for me when they did that. I would put the book, my rating, I'll go ahead and say this, my rating for the book is a 5 out of 10. It's mediocre. I don't think it's a terrible, awful book, but I don't think it's a great book. I feel mediocre about it, which is sad because so many people love this book and love this series. And I own books 2 and 3, and I will grant I love the cover art. The cover art is gorgeous. It follows that style of classic fantasy that I love. But it's just not the right it just didn't do anything great. It didn't do what it needed to do for me. So that's why I feel so mediocre about the book. As I said, there were certain chapters, certain sequences that I enjoyed, but as a whole, it was just bleh, meh throughout, which is not appealing to me. I probably will read books 2 and 3 eventually. Like, I'd had this book on my shelves for over 2 years, probably closer to 2.5 years. So I've had this book for a long time. I've just put it off and put it off and put it off for so long because I just wasn't sure I'd enjoy it. And now that I've read it, I want to read the next 2 just to find out what happens with these characters, but I might just put it off like I did the first book because I'm not excited about it, which is sad. I wish I was more excited about it. And maybe the later Dungeons and Dragons, the later Dragonlance books by the same authors are better. Maybe there are other Dragonlance books by different authors that are better. But right now, I feel 5 out of 10 for this book, which is kind of sad. So I'm sorry to have to give such a low score. But that's my review of Dragons of Autumn Twilight. If you've read this book, let me know. Did you love it? If you did, that's great. It's good for you. And if you hated it, I'm sorry that you had to hate it. And if you felt like me or kind of mediocre, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.